Assalamualaikum and a very pleasant morning I bid to all who join this video. I am Saidatul Anizah Binti Sabtu from Workbase of SOCIO-CULTURE Design PRE-THESIS 1. My topic is Affordable Transitional Housing in Transit-Oriented City, Refining and Expanding Scenario Planning Tools in Urban Context. This video presentation is divided into few parts, which first will be an overview of site analysis, will move to project ideation and design process, continue by technical drawings, presentation, and extra information on project, and end with walkthrough animation presentation. To start off, this is the overview of the site analysis carried out by Workbase on the previous seminar. My site is located in Site 1, where the location is located next to the CIQ area. CIQ is the main transportation hub in Johor Bahru and port of entry to Malaysia on the Singapore-Malaysia borders. As you can see, the main road, Jalan Lingkaran Dalam, light next to the site where cross separation of Jalan Tulang Darat in this area showing, and Tanjung Puteri towards CIQ lead to major disruption for pedestrian and this inefficient for urban growth. There is also urban sprawl occurred at that area where, as you can see from the diagram on the right hand side, the land that's supposed to be developed are turning into car parks, where this respond to the needs of vehicular user who going to CIQ. There is few future planning for Johor Bahru Singapore transit system, and one of them is Johor Bahru Singapore Rapid Transit System Link, which expect to complete in 2024 and estimate to cater about more than 300,000 commuters daily upon completion. This diagram shows the human viscosity analysis around Tulang area. Based on the result of data and finding, we can say that this area gain huge number of users almost every day in a week. To summarize, the social issues is related to the local and the workers, whereas for the local, there is lack of sense of identity for the residents and the neighborhood. That area could provide better opportunities as well as transit point for Malaysia and Singaporean workers, whereas for the transportation and pedestrian-wise, there is limited proper infrastructure for linkage and pathways such as walkways and drop-off area. The issue of urban sprawl relate to this economy-driven sprawl, people-driven sprawl, and transport-oriented development. For those issues that give impacts toward social development, economic development as well as sustainability, a concept of design development has been constructed. The strategies is to make the urban infrastructure development as economic force in Johor Bahru to help in improve the quality of life and promote optimum sustainable use of land. This idea aim to gain improvement in human well-being and efficient communication and transportation. Back into the main idea on affordable transitional housing in transit-oriented development. This form of housing will provide community housing, and this is a scheme to assist and allow to people to stabilize their circumstance before moving on to longer-term housing. This housing scheme is purposely for short-term period. As shown on the headline, more transport housing near transport hub is needed. The demand on transit-adjacent housing expected will be nearly triple in the next 20 years. This is why this platform is chosen other than the other permanent conventional housing scheme. There are many housing schemes being introduced, offered by government from time to time. This is one of them, issued by the Johor Housing Communication and Multimedia Committee, where 2 housing schemes will be included in Johor Budget 2020. It is an initiative to provide more transit home for youth, as for this time being there was limited number of transit home for youth. In relation with the housing issues, there are also another big issues of affordability in between the city users in Johor Bahru. Question on this study is, does this house scheme plan to be categorized and well studied on the micro function according to the urban location and human travel behavior as well as sustainability? By looking at all the issues discussed just now, a hypothesis framework was constructed to help in identifying the holistic idea for urban improvement. Transit-oriented development is a type of urban development that maximizes the amount of residential, business and leisure space within walking distance to public transport. TOD will eventually involve the urban fabric conversion by creating mixed-use building topology, which the idea is to have an affordable transitional housing. It will encourage the diversity and form neighborly connection with the few public spaces included in the design. It will also promote the sustainable business which can help to improve economy diversity. SWOT analysis of the site has been carried out, hence a synthesis can be produced on what improvement should have to help regain the site identity without impacting the existing character. From the ideation of the program just now, the creation of activities was constructed and arranged based on specific program, based on intention to overcome the urban issues earlier. Zoom into the site, which is site 1, we can see there is 4 colored division, whereas all these divisions carry different potential. This site study was meant for the zoning of the site and the building configuration. The purple part carried huge potential of the site, since it is facing the commercial next to the site and event spaces occasionally held by the Johor HQ. The orange part is part for ingress and egress, since it is the only accessible entrance for the site. The red part showing less potential area of the site, since it is facing the back view of the residential and existing TNB substation. The green part is hotspot, since this part shows the highest human transitory, a potential area to promote urban sustainability by providing pedestrian pathway. These 4 checkpoints involved in the creating the idea of the city. The context will be the users from the city center, nearby residential, as well as for those who transit in Stulang area. The rough idea is to make use the site to fit in both function of housing and commercial, where this part is meant to be a community interaction areas and elevated the affordable housing for privacy purpose. The transitory part was tried to be reserved as it carried a huge potential and show accessibility and wayfinding towards the site. The idea is elaborate more into these conceptual sketches. It shows clearly the leveling and how the space will be interacted. Hence, it became the idea of providing more technical drawing. As you can see in the screen is the board composition, consists of elaboration on concept and planning. On the right hand side is the final site planning. Ground area is planned to receive a high density of users, since there are provided with open spaces in the middle part. for business and display activities, retails, and incorporate with green space. Moving on to first floor plan, this area provide with few enclosed urban gallery hall, multipurpose hall, incorporate with transit area in the middle. Here is the transit unit area, a basic room unit for commuters or public to rent and rest. Second floor plan shows the continuity from first floor, where repeating the circular shape in the middle for public access and transit unit area on the left side. This level also meant for community area as there are also facilities like reading areas, co-working areas and transitional areas for relaxation with seatings and shades. Third floor plan, this level is divided between upper housing levels and commercial below. This area also provides with transit bridge for connectivity of users from the hostile road next to the site where most of them stop by at the checkpoint before walking to CIQ. At this level, security control needs to be extra to secure the housing tenants on the upper floor. Fourth floor plan, where it is fully utilized by the housing tenants up to the 9th floor, the housing unit divide into two types, which differ between number of bedrooms. All these units are provided with green voids or courtyard area purposely to encourage planting activities for temporary housing tenants and to secure the environment in the resident area. The planning is repeat to the 5 level above with slightly decrease the number of units at the right wing of the building to gain the staggered effect of the whole building configuration to give response toward the site context. Section 8A showing the interaction of building layout by level from entrance of Jalan Indraputra and Jalan Lingkaran Dalam. Section BB shows the balanced interaction between building program for housing tenants on upper parts and community area below. The front view showing the entrance part of the commercial and housing area, and it is the view from the residential area next to the site. As for the left view, it is the view towards the entrance of home unit and balcony views of transit room unit below. This is the exploded diagram of building to show closely the activities occurred within this building typology. The interior layout of spaces from the commercial part and housing part. Lastly, here is the walkthrough animation of the affordable transitional housing in the transit-oriented city of Johor Bahru.